Hello, I'm Valen, and welcome back to Star Trek Armada 3. Today we'll be hopefully finishing off the Cardassians. We're going to try and get the first fleet to fly to the wormhole at Antigone, and hopefully we can use that to clear out a bit more in terms of safe locations. The mere presence of these ships should also drive off the Federation. Although it looks like these New Orleans-class ships are just going to jump right past. If we get some defense nodes, we can at least ward them off. But I don't expect any victories directly there. Alright, the planetary assimilator is there, so let's actually send this through to there. Get the third fleet to finish up here. The first fleet's main goal is to clear up... Well, firstly we want to make sure we don't lose this planet. Losing that planet would not be good overall. And of course they've got more ships going there. Let's get a small interceptor force and have them rally at Diocles. And then we'll have this fleet push back through here. Second fleet can push and deal with anything down here. The third fleet will finish up sieging this planet. And so once we have this planet sieged, they can move on to the capital. Second fleet will just need to clear up whatever is here, and we might be able to send them up ahead of the first fleet to clear out Kozai. Of course we have this Unicomplex. We'll get a few upgrades for it, so that it's more effective in combat, and therefore we'll be able to actually hold the enemy forces out, so that's our first goal there. And now if we finally get this, if we get these logistic slots over here, we can get some more assimilation nodes. We only need the one, but then we can go in and get this, and get our top level Unicomplex ordered up. And there we go, full Unicomplex research is queued up. Still needs to go through and get a few things set up for it, but it'll go through and we'll get a very powerful station here that should keep them from going to Kozai. So here the first fleet is clearing out most of the enemy ships. This should help and allow us to fight on other fronts rather than focusing here so much. It's not a difficult battle, it's just a bit unexpected. We're also going to need to kill the Nor type, which isn't an issue anymore, so... Nor types are essentially easy kills at this point. We just need to make sure we don't lose too many ships in this battle. We'll still have to replenish whatever we lose. And I'd like to get 2 spheres sent out over here, but it's difficult with how we have our fleet spread out. So it may be better to wait to get the spheres, because we have no effective transportation to get the spheres over here. And as expected, the Cardassians are pushing back. They're trying to attack our new planets.
Station construction complete.
If we can get a segment of our force to break off, say these guys, just sort of arbitrarily picked, we're probably not going to save the planet, but we can at least head there and hopefully stop something. We'll get some more defensive upgrades. Now we could begin work on a Dreadnought, but I don't think it's necessary at this point, as it's just extra firepower that we don't particularly need. I will invest in these drone allocation researches, because getting extra population will increase our income. And if we also focus on getting some resource nodes set up in locations that don't have them, that will help deal with any other issues we may have. This interceptor force will throw them at the pirate base and hope to do something with it, because they're not absolutely necessary for any fleet. We'll tell them to hold position. And they'll hold position out here, and we may be able to kill off most of the ships that are coming in.
Negotiation is irrelevant.
Meanwhile, our fragment of the second fleet is on its way over here to hopefully drive off these siege ships. This planet is about to be defeated. It doesn't have any culture nodes, though, so it's not really fitting in with the end goal. The Unicomplex, of course, is getting all the upgrades it needs. It will be able to produce frigates and cruisers, which will be very useful as we can have production directly at the star, and if we can have more Unicomplexes built at this location, say, directly from our current Unicomplex, we'll be able to have multiple frigate factories without having to deal with any of the related problems of needing a planet for them. We'll have all of it contained in a defense network as well, which is always useful. This battle I don't expect us to win too much. It's sort of just there because we can do it.
Activate all outposts.
And of course they brought in a colony ship, which is going to be a bit annoying, but we can clear it out. It means we're gonna have to go and bring it and divert a fleet to actually finish off the Cardassians. So it's going to take up a bit more time, but it's not an excessive waste, it's just sort of another distraction from the end goal. So we're going to make sure that we get as many of these resource nodes set up. We don't have connections through these uninhabitable regions, like the Wormhole and the Metreon Nebula. We're going to need to set those up with starbases, so that's going to take some extra resources diverted, but it's not, again, none of it is too expensive. It just ends up pulling us away from what we're trying to do. So here the second fleet has basically dealt with the problem over here, although they're still sieging. Their shields are all down though, and we can probably get strategic fortifications, but I don't think we'll need them.
The collective must grow.
And we may be able to save the planet, but I doubt it. Okay, that was a surprise.
I am the beginning.
Now, of course, we're going to need to make sure that everything's actually set up properly and we're not doing ridiculous things. Alright, these all, I actually want to stay here. And we're going to start researching culture nodes. We don't need that, that's a diplomacy thing, we don't need any diplomacy.
State objective.
And now all of this will allow us to at least set up a culture thing in our own lands. And we can get labs on our capital ships, which is always useful, but it's not... Again, a lot of these things aren't priorities anymore because there just aren't any more things to prioritize.
We will adapt.
We've dealt with most of the immediate problems, so there's no real reason to worry too much about others. Our third fleet is doing just fine. Planet still stands, probably because we don't have any more obelisks in the fleet, which I don't quite know why we don't. But oh well, we can fix that. We'll get a force of 4 obelisks. Maybe I didn't build obelisks. That's probably what happened.
The collective must grow.
We'll get a group of obelisks sent in.
Negotiation is irrelevant.
That will...
We wish to improve ourselves.
That will attack this planet, and now that we know there's an artifact there, that means that we have more of a reason to take it and secure it. So we'll move the obelisks that we make to there. Are they attacking this planet again? It just won't give up. Alright. Second fleet will figure out what is left here.
Relocate. Soon they will join us.
Everything that can begin attacking there. We'll take this planet. And we'll actually set this one up for interlink nodes, so that we can start pushing back against the Cardassian culture from behind them, and hopefully allow us to actually take some planets.
Additional technology acquired.
Alright, 2 of the obelisks have been made, and it looks like we're gonna be hit again by pirates. Not happy about it, but it's about the only thing we can really bother with right now, so... Although... the attack over here has left. The Defiant is heading over here. Not sure why again. Never sure why they're trying to go after us so much. We'll set up some assimilation nodes as well. As well as a defense node up here, and we'll set up our first repair node, because if we can actually just hold them off without much effort. Although this is just a free kill. Yeah, no need to stay. What just happened? I have no clue. Alright. So we'll get labs on capital ships.
We serve the collective.
Second fleet will finish that up. Third fleet can begin a charge. So, once we get interlink nodes actually started, we'll get some results there, but we'll pull these guys back to here. First fleet can begin a push there. Again, most of this stuff is just keep pushing, keep doing what we can. 4 obelisks, so we can immediately send them towards their target. And now, we take out their defense platforms, and then doctrine centers will go down afterwards. It won't be too difficult, and the fleet will be plenty capable of it. I'm only slightly worried about the pirate raid. I don't know where it will hit, and I don't believe we have a fleet within range to defend against it. But if we're quick enough... And actually, we need culture over here. But if we're quick enough, we should be able to set up a transwarp node at one of these locations, or set up some form of defense somewhere, and deal with whatever problems are coming up because of this. We'll put that after all this culture research. Culture is more important right now. Alright. The Federation has brought in a combat fleet, it looks like. I'm not surprised, I was expecting it. Just not quite yet. So we'll have to be ready to fight them off, probably. We are taking some of their ships. So... we are in a position where we're getting an advantage. We can drain their shields, and we can apparently use, assimilate crew using a holding beam. But it looks like they're jumping to Kozai, or jumping out. Maybe a combination of the two. The jump to Kozai is just about the stupidest thing they could do. And they've got a Janissary back there.
Standing by. Engage hostiles.
Activate all alcos. Additional technology acquired.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that this is the end of the Cardassians now. They can't fight back, really. Their only culture nodes are being
under attack.
fought easily.
State new directive.
Their only defense platform here is not within range of any bombing locations. They're pulling a Galler back to support them. Let's take the cube and use the cube to wipe out the forces back there. None of this is difficult, so...
We are one.
And now we know where they are, so let's actually set up an emergency escape route.
Proceed to sector.
And I think they're attacking there. So I'd like to pull these all back here. Make sure that the transwarp gate is being constructed. We're going to take the planet as soon as possible. Which looks like now. And we're going to get the mines here, because we just need the mines, really.
State objective.
Third fleet can clear out what's here. First fleet is dealing with this, which is only one doctrine center now. Which means we've basically stopped their culture. For good.
Relocate.
Essentially.
Activate all alcos.
Now the cube, I actually want to kill the Janissary first. Over here, the obelisks are doing their job just fine. We'll get this planetary assimilator to head over here, and we'll have this planet easily. Is there any other location that could be creating culture? That's the only one. We clear that out and we've won this area. And there we go, their other ships are going.
The collective must grow.
Transwarp gate is not complete, and I don't know where the pirates are heading. I have an idea, though. So we're relying on hunches here, which is never good. But I think we'll be fine. I think one of the next goals should be to clear out the pirate base, so that then they can only attack the other factions. So, the third fleet... The first fleet will be mobilizing very soon. It'll be moving out and trying to get more planets in the third system. Although I'm not sure if that's going to be very clear, because it seems like some of them have already been colonized. None of which is too much of a problem. They can be wiped out easily enough. It'll probably be the easiest targets to wipe out, but it's just a bit of a distraction again. A lot of things are distractions, apparently.
Negotiation is irrelevant.
Now we move everything we can over here, get the planetary assimilator to close in there. Second fleet, they're going directly to our capital. Transwarp gate is...
We wish to improve
Yep, you can
ourselves.
transwarp directly. Alright, transwarp gate is done. Everything that can should now start attacking the planet.
The collective must grow.
First fleet, let's kill off the Doctrine Center and siege the planet. And we're gonna want more firepower, and I'd also like to get the increased weapon banks here. Or increased bank targets. So we'll just sell a lot of tritanium. We're absolutely full to the brim with tritanium, basically. So now may be a good time to begin yet another fleet, since we just have so many resources, and this can be a dedicated combat fleet.
We serve the collective.
So we'll clear out what we can here, and we'll add the 2 spheres to this fleet that they've been needing, and we'll also add in the 2 assimilators that they've got to have for full backup fleet. We'll clear out these raiders. And more pirates are coming in, but none of them are siege ships, so we should be alright now. Over here we have another Unicomplex constructor, so we'll sell some more resources. And we'll set up the next one to guard this phase lane area.
Invalid objective.
Or not. We can't build any more starbases there. So let's begin work on setting up more trade routes.
Technology acquired.
If we can make our routes for trade longer, then we can help improve our income, and that in turn will just help everything. We can build larger fleets and such. Syndicate raiders are just about dead. Charybdis has been acquired, which is over here. And we could just disassemble what's left. And these obelisks should go join their fleet, which is actually the 3rd fleet. So we'll send them down that way. And now that we know that there's something here, we'll explore it.
Station construction complete.
Most of the other locations have finished exploring, so that's less of an issue now. We'll get the holding beams so we can start assimilating things with the assimilation platform, do what it's actually named for. We'll get these to start improving income rates again. And enemy colony on Kozai is cleared. So we'll find our trapezoid. It's already colonizing. Good.
Invalid objective.
And there we go. First fleet can now move into here. We'll fight at the Unicomplex. I don't want to fight anywhere else for this kind of battle. If we get the planetary assimilator to head over here, since this is clear now, that should be easy enough.
Standing by.
Of course, we have a random intrepid. It's not going to do us much good in an actual battle, but we'll have it sitting around.
We are one.
So now the second fleet is updated, and this will be sent to this asteroid belt. And we'll send the third fleet there once we're done, because those fleets will then begin the push on the pirate base, so we can force all pirate raids to be in enemy systems. We'll have to clear out this pirate base next, and I think we can divert at least one fleet. We'll probably have the new fleet by then, if we get another drone and logistics upgrade. And we can begin production of that fleet. So I'm thinking for this fleet, we have a tactical cube and a tactical sphere, as it'll provide us with good combat damage. It won't be as much support-wise, but we really just need that combat damage right now. And since these are going to be part of anti-pirate operations, it would probably be good to have that extra firepower. Again, it's a combat fleet, so we're primarily going to have combat ships, or have cruisers.
We are the Borg.
Some of those will be wedges, though, which we don't have in any of our other fleets right now.
Additional technology acquired.
So if we go over here, we're going to need our 8 pyramids, 4 spheres, 4 assimilators, and 2 adapters. And we'll get 4 wedges.
Additional technology acquired.
That seems reasonable enough to me. So now the first fleet is beginning its attack. Or it's beginning its warp, really. It's not attacking at the moment. It's just getting ready to. So now we're actually starting to run out of resources, which is good. It means we're actually using what we have available, rather than just sitting on top of a large stockpile of this stuff.
Additional technology acquired.
Now, although we're pulling our fleet out of the star, the Unicomplex should be a good ward against people approaching, and even if they do approach, we do have the third fleet just a short ways out. Although I'd rather not use them right now. Seems like they are going for this planet, though. I'm not going to try and pronounce it. It's strange. So if we start exploring these planets, I'm sure they've already been explored and there's nothing of worth, but at least we can look and see, make sure. Third fleet is still clearing that out. We could, and I feel like we'd be fine doing this, we could move in
We will adapt.
and try and clear out the ships, and I think we will, so we'll order that up. I ordered all the ships at the wrong location, didn't I? There we go. Second fleet will be set to hold position.
We will adapt.
And here it'll take the attacks and kill off all the ships that are charging towards us. Important element of this plan is we need to keep the pirates out of our system. So we're going to sink a lot of resources into getting them to attack the Federation, because we cannot have extra ships jumping in now. This battle has begun and it cannot end. So yeah, they're just running past us, which I question,
Activate
but
all outposts.
I suppose it works for what they're trying to do.
Our planet is under attack.
I'm aware of that, but we're in a position where they can't really do significant damage to us. In terms of other locations, there's several they could go for, but I wouldn't recommend any of them as actual targets, because we have good response times to almost all of them. Meanwhile, we'll make sure that future attacks don't cause us significant damage. We'll actually go ahead and check. So we're getting lots of power generation from the Iconian Power Core. Alright, the Cardassians have been defeated.
Proceed to sector.
Now we need to move the third fleet up into a defensive
The
location.
collective must grow.
The second fleet, meanwhile, is killing off all these ships. And so that's not going to take long, and that'll make sure that we are in an advantageous position. Fleet 3 is gathered together. It looks like the Federation is retreating again, which is what we wanted. We need to be careful. There we go, that planet is now prepared for logistical improvements, or civic infrastructure currently. We'll make sure it has the resources to finish this up. And building a unicomplex right on top of a wormhole, they won't be able to escape its line of fire. So that will ensure that we actually get in the damage we need. And there we go. Second fleet is in a position to take out the pirate base now.
New directive.
So we'll
Initiating new
just
directive.
order it to go around and kill all of
Target
these.
acquired.
I'd rather have
Target
wedges at the
acquired.
moment for this battle,
Soon they will join
but
us.
they aren't necessary. This is going to be easy enough.
Remodulate
We have
shields.
high enough shield or armor regen and all that stuff that it's not really an issue at this point. So we'll just soak a bit more money into our armor and just sit back and let the battle end, and then the pirates will just siege out the planet for a bit, and we won't have to worry about pirates for a long time.
We will adapt.
Meanwhile, the first fleet is discovering its first major combat situation. Yeah, this is a dangerous attempt. I'm pulling them out.
Resistance is futile. We are one.
We're pulling out to our home star system. So we have discovered something, and that is, they have a very large fleet in a position to attack us. Well, more in a position to keep us from expanding. And that could be the death of us, so we need to prepare a way to break that blockade. And I'm thinking this might be the time to start work on a dreadnought. If we can get the progenitor out, we would be able to stop just about any attacks. So we'll keep the third fleet here for now.
Just a moment.
We'll assemble to try and keep the enemy from forming too strong of a front line. We'll pull the first fleet back, and we'll get a transwarp node here at Kozai.
Station construction complete.
So the first fleet I want to pull back to Aglaron, and we'll actually give Aglaron the transwarp gate that's at the neighboring asteroid, because we only needed it there as an emergency escape thing. So we'll go ahead and order this to be scuttled. We could keep it there, but I don't see a reason to. We could use the tactical slots there for better reasons. And we're going to need frigate construction over here, because this is going to become a minor factory world. It's just it's very close to the gas giant, so it serves as a good entry point, getting us to a target location. we'll get an advanced assembly matrix as well to be able to rebuild capital ships. And there we go. Order that up right here. First
We
fleet
are the Borg.
is under heavy attack. And there's a pirate force here as well.
Technology acquired.
We'll stop them from trying to jump as a group.
Proceed to sector.
And that should save a lot of them.
The collective must grow.
And there we go. We got out a decent amount. But I think we lost more than it was worth there. We should have done more scouting to make sure we knew what we were up against.
State your intent.
Alright, let's take these envoys. We don't need them, so we'll scuttle them both.
We lie in the shadows.
Do we have any other assimilated envoys? Yes, we do. There's one over here.
Where to?
We'll scuttle that one as well. This unit complex needs upgrades, and so the next goal, of course, will be just to lock this all down. We want to be able to ensure that the star isn't cleared out, so we'll probably station a combat fleet there. I'm thinking the third fleet would do fine.
Negotiation is irrelevant.
And we can then run another force into the enemy's star, the star system that we would like to colonize.
We are one.
Over here, Alaraf, and hopefully clear out the blockade they've got there.
We serve the collective.
It may turn out to be much more difficult than we expected, and we're gonna have to hold a long battle, but even having just a few fleets there,
We are the Borg.
we should be able to kill a lot more of their ships than they expect. So yes, as expected, late game, it's the Federation that's become the problem. And so we're going to need to fight the Federation primarily. All the other factions aren't as much of an issue. The Romulans are the only non-Federation faction left alive, and they're only a minor problem. Yeah, we'll continue this next time, hopefully clearing out that blockade. But until next time, goodbye.